All right, so last but not least, I want to talk about stretching. Now, you don't have to go out and buy anything. You can use a towel you already have. You can use a belt you already have, or if you happen to already have a yoga strap, use that. I like the stretch out strap, and on my website, there's a video that I go more in depth on all of these. It just has little handles where you can actually put your hand in there so it doesn't slip as much. And I don't feel like you have to like grip as much in your shoulders to do some of these exercises. So the great part about the stretch out strap is you can stretch 1 foot or 2 feet, depending, I guess, how wide your feet are. But it gives you, it's kind of like how I had given you that assistant exercise with a TheraBand, like as you're coming up, and then you can walk forward and really enhance that stretch there. So there's lots of different ways. We can do it with one arm and one leg and work on kind of that oppositional, feeling that oblique and reaching through that heel. So there's ways we can use it to work. There's ways we can use it to stretch us, okay? So let's say if I was gonna start in a forward fold, I could do individual feet, and I like it up high on your toes so that you can get the foot to flex back towards you. Does that make sense? And then if you hold inside the straps here, as you forward fold, it doesn't take as much pressure in your neck. Now, if I wanted to make it more challenging, I could choke my hands up. And by flexing my feet back, I'm going to turn this way so you can see my feet. But while I pull higher up with the straps higher up on my feet, they have to stay flexed and engaged. Does that make sense? So we want them flexed. Our bodies want to point them because it's less tight so we can go further. But when we flex them, it gets us that true hamstring stretch. And notice how my back is flat. Even as I lean forward, it's flat. And then as I tuck my head, it stays flatter. Okay? It's not just scoop around, let my belly roll out, and then I dive forward. It's less of a hamstring stretch when you do that. So really work on flat, lift my stomach, go up and over a picket fence, and then fold forward. You're gonna feel it a lot sooner in that hamstring stretch. And hold it for 10 breaths. If you can come down here and really get in and hold, a big inhale, a big exhale. Keep holding it, and another exhale. Inhale and exhale. Guys, that's only 3 breaths and I've already gotten further forward. You could rest your head on a yoga block until your body decides to let you in. But really challenge yourself to start with 3 to 5 breaths and then work from 5 to 8 breaths and then up to 10, okay? I'm gonna take it into one leg and laying all the way down flat, all right? So what I like to do is hold both the straps with my opposite hand. So I have my left foot in the strap. My right hand is holding both sides of the strap, and I'm going to pull it across my body. I'm not letting this bottom come up. So think of this hip staying back into the mat, into the floor, and down, like I'm trying to sit it on my opposite heel, my right heel. So my left hip is not lifting up. I'm trying to sit it long all the way down on my right heel. Okay, so like you're making a half of an X from this bum to that heel, and then it comes across the body. Now you're not pulling it up towards you and bending the knee. You're keeping the leg as straight as you can, and then bringing it up and across, okay? Holding it there, keeping the abs strong, and also keeping this oblique, pushing my hip down. Inhale and exhale. You can come in and bend at the knee. This is gonna give you a little bit more stretch, if you will. So it's kind of like a figure 4. So if you have back issues and your doctor tells you not to do figure 4, then obviously eliminate this one. But you can also pick this leg up and help. Give it just a little bit more stretch there. All right, we're going to put this leg straight up toward the ceiling. Again, keeping that bum heavy and down. We're still on that left leg, and we're just gonna push our foot like we're reaching our heel up a wall. If there was an imaginary wall sitting at my bottom, my heel is pushing up that imaginary wall. And again, I'm gonna hold the straps, and I'm gonna pull down a little bit with my elbows and my back muscles. Inhale. And exhale. If your knee's bent, focus on lowering your leg, reaching it out and away, and only coming up as much as you can keep that leg straight. My hamstrings are pretty flexible, so I can get to 90, but if you're below 90, don't bend your knee to get to 90. Keep the leg straight and find where your leg needs to be in order to get closer to 90 with a straight leg, okay? So this is where you would switch sides. So make sure that you put that other foot in, keeping that other hip anchored down. And remember, not both sides are gonna be created equally. And so that's all right. Maybe you can't go as far on this side. Maybe you have to really focus on pushing that hip down and back. Okay, just give yourself grace and find that, you know, maybe this is just a tighter hip and that's okay. And then we come through figure 4 and then we go right back into that hamstring stretch on your second side. And also if this is really hard for this leg to go straight and that's tough on your low back, bend the down leg, that knee. Okay, so that's some stuff for those hips, kind of getting us a little bit more stretch in there. And then I wanna go over some shoulder and arm stretches. Now, if this is bothersome, like painful, then don't do it. But what we're doing here is we're really trying to open at the front of the chest. So by putting your hands on a towel or coming into it like a yoga strap like this, you're gonna be able to stretch out the front of the shoulder of this hand that's back behind me. And eventually being able to touch and clasp your hands is going to be something that'll help your shoulders get more mobility. Okay, so does that make sense? So we're sitting up nice and tall, we're keeping this elbow up high, and we're having this one come down, around, and back. Now, if, let's say you can't even do that with that arm, it won't go down, around, and back, then let's just start with putting it there. Lifting the shoulder and kind of helping it rotate into the socket, down and back, and also be working on that foam rolling of that lat back there. Stretching out through the pecs will help. We call this broken wing. Your hands are kind of sitting on your hips like palms up toward the ceiling, and you just kind of flap your little baby broken wings, right? Like that. Yeah. And stretch your neck. Of course, I've got to go back and do all this on my other side so that I'm not uneven. But I hope you guys find this valuable. Like, it's super duper important that we get the mat work in. It's super duper important that we do all this. But when there's issues, we've got to have a way to address them. So that's what I hope this can be, is kind of just a little chat through what is bothering us, what's working, what's not working. And that's how I like to work with my clients. You know, your feedback is best for me to be able to curate the rest of the content, right? So I can have a plan, but if I'm not listening to what your body needs, that plan is not going to be effective for you long term, and you could potentially get injured. And if we get injured, we just set ourselves back. So there's no point in that. And to me, it's so much more important to meet our body where we're at, to really embrace where we're at in that journey, whether it's physical therapy type stuff and we're trying to heal so that we can gain the strength to then progress those exercises. So I appreciate your communication. I appreciate you guys understanding that life happened yesterday, and I own it. I wasn't able to get the workout put up, and I am trying to stay ahead for the rest of this week. So I will make sure that everything is working on my YouTube uploads. I don't know why it just keeps spinning and doing all this crazy stuff. So I have some support tickets available or open today, and hopefully they'll be available tomorrow to help me work through some of that. But I hope you have a great Sunday, and let me know how these videos go. Bye.